Africa. It's your boy Vuyo here again for an amazing book launch called The Man Who Changed a Landscape. We're here to experience this great experience. Let's come along and join me. Let's go.
We get on quite well. But I think, firstly, Wouter, thank you for arranging and thank you all for coming, because it's been an absolute privilege working with Stenden and to see, my great friend here. Without her, Stenden couldn't have happened either, because, it was your hotel that we turned, and those were the early days. And Stuart's here as well. We were the original team that managed to convince Stenden to come here instead of, when they sent the consultant out, they wanted to go to Cape Town. And I said, no, maybe Grahamstown, because, Grahamstown then with the private schools and the university. And then we talked about Port Alfred. And fortunately, I knew Stuart. We had our relationship with your late husband for, it was so good that we got it to come here, and I think you've made such a difference to, so it's all very well Dean saying I've made a difference, but, and we referred to it in the book, and the difference that you've done and that you changed your life to come and live here with Wayne and with all the people that are involved around you. So thank you all. And, I think one of the proudest moments in my life of this is that this university is the only university in the world where you can do part of your degree a semester in wildlife conservation and lodge management. And, to have that as an asset, I think, and to the way you've promoted it over the 20 years and the people that you brought here and how popular that course is. And now he's taken that course and we've starting something else, You think at my age, I'm done and dusted, and I don't know, but, I was just saying to tourism people outside there just now, I was privileged to meet my wife, myself, and Paul. We had the whole afternoon with Sir David Attenborough. He's turning 99, and he's still working. So I'm just 82, so I said to myself, I've got a long way to go. So, we're now we've moved the campus of that wildlife destination to our new product called Noisy, which is a game reserve between Port Elizabeth and Uitenhage, or Karega and Kobega, the first in the world. You can go to New York and you can have Central Park. You can go to London and the Hyde Park. You can come to Port Elizabeth and Uitenhage and have a game park. And that park is nearly 3,000 hectares, and we're rewilding life there. And we've just had a very successful rewilding of cheetahs. We're busy with the next lot. We've got elephant there. The only sadness for me is that we can't put rhino there because of the poaching problem. And I'm trying to work out a way. And the other thing that we're doing there is that, how many of you know that there are 8,000 lions in South Africa in captivity that are there for their bones and to be shot in captivity? There's 3,000 in the wild. So I'm very busy with the ministerial task team, with the minister, to create a safe haven for some lions to be able to show the world what shouldn't be done. So we're busy with that there. So I think that Noisy, with the campus that you've got there, with the message that you give, with what we're trying to give, will become something famous. And we were talking outside again, and thank you guys for coming all the way from South Africa and helping us promote this wonderful province. We were chatting outside there, what have we got here or what haven't we got here? And I said to them, why do people go to Cape Town? There's product, there's Table Mountain, there's where Mandela was, there's wine, you name the product. We've got to create product. And, I was saying to them out there, it was a very interesting experience that I had. Gary Player, that was Ian Player, who's our Attenborough of South Africa, came about 3 weeks ago to us at our lodge that we still kept next to Shamwari, called Founders Lodge, and he brought a lady with him, and he said he didn't think this lady had traveled much around Africa. And I said to her while we were having lunch, what do you think? Have you done much in Africa? She said, I've done everything. I've been to the migration, I've been to the gorillas, I've been to Botswana, and I've just been to the Sabi Sand. And now I'm on my back foot. And I said, well, what do you think of this? She said, let me be honest with you. This is the best game experience I've had in Africa because of the variety of species that we're able to see here. More species occurred here than anywhere else in Southern Africa. And what happened? The 1820 settlers came here and knocked everything out, besides 11 elephant, which created Elephant Park. So when I started my journey in this, after having sold my horse farm, having done lots of other things, penguin pools, castle crane hire, all the rest, I want my patch of Africa. And that was to go and enjoy weekends with, not to create a whole game. I know it's 50 years old then, that's 30 years ago. And bought this farm, and then the next one came, the next thing I had 11,000 hectares. And I really, and Dean studied it well. This book that Skeed wrote about the animals that occurred here. And then it became an absolute ambition of mine to put back what was here. And it could never have happened if I didn't get the endorsements. I'm a great believer in if you do something, because everybody around me said he's mad. He's got more money than brains. It'll never work. And I got Dr. Ian Player here, the guy who saved the white rhino from extinction, one of the first. And he said, Adrian, what you're doing is the future for conservation in South Africa. We've got to get the private enterprise involved. And this is one of the first. So let's get it happen. Let's make it happen. And then he introduced me to the people like Sir David Attenborough, many conservationists around the world that we came and saw us. Great film stars came, Brad Pitt, John Travolta, Tiger Woods created such a storm for me because he got engaged there and shat on me for announcing it and all the rest. But he did me a favor because he broke my website down and everybody in the world knew what was going on. So we made mistakes about publicity, but I needed the endorsements. People needed to know, what the hell is this guy think he's doing? And anyway, so we released the lines in 2000. And have you heard of the band called Mango Grooves? And I got a hold of her. Claire was sitting in a plane next to me going to London. I said, Claire, what do you know about conservation? She said, nothing. I said, when you get back, you're going with your man, John, to meet Dr. Ian Player. Change their lives. They then came when we released the lines in 2000, and they sang that song, Where the Lions Sleep Tonight. They committed conservationists. I got them to meet Virginia McKenna because we started Born Free. I got Virginia to close down the cat sanctuary out in London. I said, I don't want a lion in London. Lions must be where they come from, in South Africa. And we got the Born Free Centre going. They closed that down and they've opened the centres where those animals that they saved do exist. Yeah. So we were lucky in that we had all this. So people say to me, well, why the hell did you sell Shamwari? I said there was one very good reason, because the Bible came and one of the sheikhs stayed with me, and that sheikh said to the people when he got back, because they had bought the waterfront, the World, I think you guys will remember that. They'd bought a lot of stuff around Africa. We want to replicate what this guy's done here in Rwanda, in Senegal, in Zimbabwe, in a lot of countries. And we went to all the places that done there. 2008 came, the world collapsed. They sold the waterfront. And they brought this consultant from London, and they come and see Shamwari, and he said to me, you don't know what you're doing. So I said, fine, I'm go. And I got out my last 30%, but I kept there what I believe is one of the most products that you should all visit. It's called Founders Lodge. It was my home when we built Shamwari. We converted it into a lodge, and we call it Where It All Began. You'll see the history of the people that have been there. You'll see a bead collection that Mandla Mandela said is the best in the Eastern Cape. And we've got full traversing rights over Shamwari. So you can come and stay, go out the gate, and you can do all the wildlife there, but you can see the history of what happened. And for me, the legacy is that there are 16 equivalent Shamwaris today. Why? Because there's a value to wildlife. And that Ian Player said to me, you've got to get your communities to understand the value of wildlife. So to give you the example, Shamwari and Founders, when they were all put together, those farms, 16 people were employed. Today, over 500 are employed without the multiplier effect. So there's a massive thing. And so all these other people have realized that goats and cattle and all the rest of it there's bigger value in tourism and wildlife. Now, the big thing for me, and I don't think I'll see it in my lifetime, but we're working flat out with the Wilderness Foundation, which Dr. Ian Player allowed me to bring, because I said to Ian, the day you die, this foundation dies. He said, why? I said, because you're bigger than the foundation. I want the foundation to be bigger than you. I want to bring it to the Eastern Cape. We've got no NGO in the Eastern Cape. And so he allowed us to bring it here. And believe it or not, the guy that supported me there is our current Minister of Finance, Ina Kurangwana, who was working for the local government here. So we brought the Wilderness Foundation here, and, you know, together with them, and I've had trust here, and then we've just recently, that's not mine, I turned mine off. So, yeah. Then just recently, I got an organization called American Humane, who are one of the biggest in America, but looked after domestic animals to get involved in wildlife. And they've created Global Humane, and they are busy with us with our Community Conservation Fund to really help us in wildlife here. Now, so what's got to happen is that I'll go back to where I was, is that we're trying to create a corridor between Plettenberg Bay and Graaff-Reinet to everybody. Then we've got all the farms now of the Wilderness Foundation, we've got somebody working for us permanently of all those farms that we can get to drop their fences and create something that's bigger than the Kruger Park. It's possible. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll see it, but there's a mission to do it. And what will we have then? We'll have a proper product in the Eastern Cape. Forget about Allo Elephant Park. I keep telling them, change it to Allo National Park. You've got the big five. You replicated what we've done. Call it a national park that we can all associate with Kruger National Park, and get this government to stop sitting in rooms and talking, and get them to wake up and get on the ground and help all the people here. I said, do me a favor, come with me to Rwanda. I'll take you to the president. We're busy there. We wrote the master plan for Akagera there, most successful game reserve there. There's not a piece of litter in that country. It stops for 2 hours every month. And the president was going from one of our hotels to town to another. There was a plastic bottle on the road. The whole, all the cars stopped. Who do you think got out and picked it up?
President.
Exactly. So I said to our president, we got 8 million people here. They got 12 there. Let's create the example that the Eastern Cape can become the product of Southern Africa, that we know we can do it. Stop the talk. Talk is cheap. Money buys a whiskey. Let's get it to happen. So now, a lot of that is written in there, and you'll find there's quite a lot of, good for Dr. Dean Allen, you know, it's written properly that people also think I'm not that great, and they tell you there. I lose it quite quickly, but I've got I think I've got something very positive is I turn the pages quickly. You know, it's happened, it's gone. Just get it off my chest. And then I feel a lot better. You can shout back at me, I don't mind, but I'm louder. So anyway, he picked a lot of that up, and I think that it comes through there, and I hope you'll enjoy it. Please buy it, enjoy the read. All the money that comes from that is going to a foundation to wildlife. So it's not us trying to make any money out of it. It's trying to give a message, and they gave you a price there. I think that the book cost me nearly 200 Rand, and we're just making a bit on top of that, and it's going into the Noisy Wildlife Foundation to help create this safe haven for lions. So again, thank you for coming here. And I know I get a bit carried away when I talk, but I'm very passionate about it, and I just want to live to 99. Thank you.